Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2012 Pennsylvania Leadership Conference. Glad to have all of you here. Before Mr. Anton gives us his welcoming remarks, a couple of housekeeping matters which we will announce at several points through the afternoon. First of all of you on your name tags, if you happen to have a number in the lower left-hand corner of your name tag, that indicates you are at a sponsored table for tonight's dinner. You are to sit at that table number. If you have no number on your name tag, then that means you're in open seating and you can sit elsewhere wherever you like. We had a little bit of an issue with our plans for the reception. We decided this year, rather than to have tickets, we'd put little dots on the card. Unfortunately, we got them from MoveOn.org, and halfway through the job, they quit working, and many of them fell off. So what we're going to do, we're taking a page out of CPAC's book. When you come to the reception tonight, if you're a person who should have a ticket for that, we will have a list. We'll have people checking off names at the door. So if you purchased a reception ticket or you're with a sponsor and have a reception ticket, your name would be on that list, and we'll use that as a checkoff to admit you to the reception. As you know, Dr. Frank Luntz has been scheduled as our main dinner speaker tonight. So we are expecting a great evening. Governor Nikki Haley is going to be here shortly. But first of all, in order to welcome all of you appropriately to the 2012 Pennsylvania Leadership Conference, it is my great pleasure to introduce you to the chairman of the board of the Pennsylvania Leadership Council, Mr. Frederick W. Anton III.
Thank you, Loman. Thank you for the wonderful job you've done over at least the last 7 or 8 years in what I would call the renewed vitality of the Leadership Conference. I well remember, I've incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, been trying to change policy in the state of Pennsylvania through the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association and lobbying on behalf of business for approximately 40 years. I well remember the first conference of the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference. We had about 50 people at the conference. We miraculously had Congressman Newt Gingrich as our kickoff speaker. That was either in 1988 or 1999, before Congressman Gingrich engineered the Republican victory in 1994 when we swept into control of the House of Representatives for the first time in 30 or 40 years, and also captured some 11 additional seats in the United States Senate. This conference has a special place for me, and I want to share with you a few thoughts briefly why I think it's so important that this is a meeting of conservatives and not a meeting of the Republican Party. To take it at its most simple, we conservatives are interested in enacting policies in accord with our principles of freedom and limited government. Unfortunately, the Republican Party, through many of its branches, legislative leadership in Pennsylvania and presidential and legislative leadership in Washington, has not had that as an objective. Now, the major difference between we conservatives and Republicans who gather in the Republican Party is the mission of the Republican Party is to get people elected as Republicans. And get people elected, get people reelected. And for some reason, the commitment to policies go down the drain and get marginalized in that process of seeking election and reelection. Let me give you two examples. Why is it when major issues are pending before a legislator and a governor, the governor of the Republican Party and both legislative bodies having overwhelmingly Republican margins, they say, oh, we can't vote on those issues because it's an election year. Where does that leave the substance of the issue compared with their concern about their re-election? Now, the ultimate proof of the fact that election is every politician's and office holders' highest aspiration and major focus, nothing is more proof of that than the way in which Senator Specter lost his United States Senate seat by saying very honestly that the reason why he switched parties from Republican to Democrat was to get reelected. And while others do not say that they have compromised their principles, they compromise their principles for the same reason, to get reelected. And one of the greatest lies is this: a politician, an office holder who says, I'm going to do the right thing, I'm going to vote the right way, I don't care whether it costs me my office or not. Regard that from any politician with great skepticism. Now, I am a Republican. When we did not have control of the governorship and both houses of the legislature, which we did not during, of course, the Schaap administration, the Thornburg administration, we only had control of both houses and the governorship for one term. But during the Ridge administration and during, of course, now the Corbett administration, we have had substantial majorities in the House and the Senate and the governorship. Why now, getting very, very current, why now can't we pass long-time conservative issues? Why can't we pass school choice? Why can't we enact a voucher bill? Why can't we sell the liquor stores? Why can't we reform and reduce business taxes? And why, for heaven's sake, can't we confront the unions and the excessive benefits that unions are giving to their members in so many different ways, particularly prevailing wage? Why can't we confront the unions? So I am glad I am at this conference and all of you are here. We are going to discuss many of these issues in the panels that we're going to convene here this afternoon and tomorrow, we need the intensity of your effort interacting with your Republican officials to not tolerate a failure to act as conservatives and move a conservative agenda forward. That is my message. I want to thank all of those, most notably Lowman Henry. This has become Lowman Henry's conference. We have well over 800 registered. We have a term, we're going to have presentations by some of the most conservative representatives of conservative interests in the country. Although Pat Toomey is not here, Pat Toomey is the heart and soul of this leadership conference. Starting after his defeat to Arlen Specter, he came and addressed our dinner or some portion of the conference almost every year. He has been a great attraction for the conference, and he is a true conservative. Enjoy yourselves and enjoy our speakers. Thank you very much.
You know, over the course of the 23 years this conference has taken place, one person is responsible for keep it going in good times, and there were a lot of times. Fred, you mentioned there are over 800 people here. Susan Staub tells the story of when she and I and her staff actually went into a panel presentation so there would be an audience. So we've come a long way, and this is the man who's made sure we stayed alive all these years. So thank you, Fred.